Yeah, a warm good morning to one and all. As COVID-19 continues spreading in many countries, posing a serious threat to our health, security, and lives, education in schools and universities is also facing unprecedented challenges. COVID-19 has forced universities across India and the world indeed to suspend physical classroom and to shift to online classes. In India, while this transition has been smooth for most private universities and private schools, the public ones are still adapting. There have been also debates on the nature of classes and the future of examination and evaluation, whether they could be conducted online or not. On these grounds, today we have our webinar on COVID-19 and emerging online education. There are two panel members who have joined us today. One is Mr. J.Krishnan, General Manager, RIPE Consulting India, and one another is Dr. Suganya, Associate Professor from School of Computing Sciences, VIT Chennai, who is also in charge of Assistant Director of Software Development Cell. Welcome you, ma'am. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for accepting my invitation. Before going to the questions about the challenges on online education, I would like Krishnan sir to introduce what RIPE Consultancy, the Consulting India is doing, especially in this COVID-19 situation. Yes, we have heard a lot about your consultancy and the training programs that you organize then and there. But I just wanted to know in this COVID-19 situation, what are the different services that you are providing for the people, especially for the students? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I will great. First of all, thank you very much for VIT management. Am I audible clearly?
Yes, sir. Very much audible, sir.
Thank you. So,
Better if you take your mic and keep in your mouth, the audibility will be more clear. Yeah.
yeah. So again, I express my special thanks to. I express my special thanks to VIT management and the panel of members who have initiated such type of program. It's a wonderful platform for all of us to explore innovation. And we, the right team, we are in this training and development for the past 17 plus years. We have trained near about 15 lakhs individuals across the nation.
1 minute, sir. Sorry, just a minute. I actually request all the participants, including the other panel member, to put your audio in mute. Yeah. I will also put my audio in mute so that there will be the clarity will be there when the speaker speaks, because the session has been recorded. Thank you.
Thank you. So our company is into training and development for the past 17 plus years, and we have trained near about 15 lakhs individuals across the nation. Our founder, Mr. P. Ramalingam, a double postgraduate from IIT Madras. He was in US for around 20 years. He came to India and started a software unit. Thereby, he could see that students are quite good in technical aspect but unable to communicate. And hence, our founder has initiated such type of soft skills training development from the year 2003 onwards. And along with him, our current CEO, Dr. Vijayalakshmi, who has 14 post-graduation certificate, MBA gold medalist, and he has completed his strategic management from IIM also. So we are into training and development. We want the individuals to be job ready for every aspect. I was in Indian Air Force for 20 years, and in the past 15 years, I personally trained in about 3.5 lakhs individuals across the nation. Since I'm comfortable in India, I used to travel Delhi, Mumbai, and Assam also and train. So the valid question what you have asked is now COVID-19. Yeah, it has impacted everywhere, not only one country or two countries, many countries. Yes, it is in disaster impact. So here, what we have to do means we have to motivate ourselves. Self-motivation is a must. So that is why we have framed a formula, 10 commandments. And I used to share these 10 commandments wherever I go. The first formula is, I'm going to say, and if possible, let the participants also listen and tell the same thing. Let them sit erect, let the backbone be straight, let them concentrate on the first factor is called self-awareness, self-evaluation, self-introspection. You have to think positively, spread positivity. So First formula is we have to chant this particular line every individual either in the morning or in the evening minimum 10 times. That is, I'm going to say if possible let the students also follow the formula. Day by day, in every way, I am getting better and better. I can, I will, I must. The first commandment is day by day, in every way, I am getting better and better. I can, I will, I must. If we keep on talking about challenges, problems, and all, yes, it is accumulating. But we have to find the ways and means how to face the challenges. That is why I have framed this called no COVID. Say no to COVID and no fear. With respect to fear, F stands for facts, E stands for effects, A stands for action plan, and R stands for role. What is your role? What is our role? Together, how are we going to stay connected? So, in this regard, we used to conduct such type of webinars and directly meet whether over webinars and other aspects. We meet the people and tell them, please spread positivity, and many precautionary measures are being taken. In this regard, let us also contribute as maximum as possible. And point number 2 is count your blessings, not the missings. Count your blessings, not the missings. So, like that, I have around 10 commandments. Periodically, I will be sharing. So, to start with, yes, we let us stay connected for next 1 hour and do the best. Thank you very much for giving me to introduce our company and a brief roadmap.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now to Suganya ma'am. Suganya ma'am, this is a sudden shift actually. Ma'am, I want you to unmute your audio. Suganya ma'am, you are on the line. Are you following me? Yeah. Ma'am? Yes. Yeah. Ma'am. Now the question is to you. There is a sudden shift. We didn't expect this lockdown. It's an unexpected aspect. Now, as a assistant director of software development cell, you are giving the VITOL, that is VIT online learning courses. How is the response to this? Because it is usual, if it is a scenario, students will be registering for their summer courses by now. But now this is a different scenario. You are offering an online learning course. How is the response from the student? Yes, ma'am. Krishnan sir, you can mute your audio by the time so that the audio clarity will be there.
Thank you.
Yeah, ma'am, you can answer. Even I will mute my audio. Thank you.
Yeah. A very good morning to all our students and the fellow participants. Good morning to Krishnan sir. So actually, as you rightly pointed out, this is a very critical situation when nobody has expected as of now. And the case is completely different, where there is a complete paradigm shift from a classroom teaching towards an online teaching. In this respect, we should be grateful enough to our institute, Vellore Institute of Technology, for having rightly thought of about the online MOOC courses, which under the platform called VITOL, VIT Online Learning. But it actually was a plan, but we never know that it has to be brought into practice suddenly. And hence came a lot of difficulties in terms of implementation. So, but now currently 22 courses around are going on with a lot of difficulties. I'll just point out, since I'm also a course taker, so I can just point out some of the difficulties that I face as a teacher, first of all. So I'm into teaching for almost 18 years, taking care of both administration as well as teaching. So in respect to that, the major difficulty is the interaction with the students. So till now, as a teacher, for the past 18 years, we were pretty clear in delivering the content in a classroom. It is similar to like trying to pick up the fruits that is hanging on the lower branches of the tree. So it's much more convenient for us to deliver, because every point of time we came to know how the student feel by their point of eye contact. And there will be an interactivity, of course, right? So when a student is not able to understand, so he will immediately raise his question in one way or other. And because one is asking the question, the other will always get an attempt to ask questions, and like how, and likewise it is moving on. But now everything, it is completely a paradigm shift, and we are not in a position to understand anything about the feelings of the students. So even if we have some options like discussion forum, chat window, and so many other stuff, it's not at all completely like getting in closer to a student perspective. That is from delivering as a teacher as to an VTOL student. But other than that, if you ask me, in content preparation, it's much more difficult, and we cannot think of it's a massive difference in preparing a 1 hour session or a 20 minutes delivery to a class of 60 students or 120 students, but to a students which we never had thought of in an online mode of this kind. So now, instead of being a teacher, we want to become a content developer, we should rightly say. That content development, we have a different, now that if I offer the machine learning course, now machine learning is what is the content of me. So if I offer machine learning to even 100 students or 200 students, I don't matter if I go to a classroom, I will rightly can point out what are the difficulties they face. I can talk to them, and some of the concepts, if I interpret in one way, I can come to know whether the same interpretation is there with the students also. Now, more than 2000 students are studying the course. I never know what is the level of their understanding. So that becomes a major difference. And one more thing is like, no, we don't have a common set of students inside the class. It's a diversified student. We have students from BTech, we have students from PG, you have students from 3-year degree program. And how will you deliver that? So without understanding what's happening over there and how the students feel, we are just trying to give. So the assumption, on an assumption that we have to deliver to a average set of students, we are able to deliver. So that's a major paradigm shift that has happened. And as a software developmental assistant director, yes, there are huge lots and lots of difficulties that is arising out. So we have around 22,000 students who are taking the student and studying. So now streaming becomes a very big problem. So how much we do have a complete data center equipped as well, like a corporate at our institute. So we have to be very thankful to our chancellor. But whatever be the case, so the streaming becomes a very important parameter in nowadays. So we, since we are not expecting when the students will go wake up, study, and then because we are offering a time period and we cannot restrict the students to read only on that specific time period, he is free to choose his own time slot. So it's a very big difficulty to understand his learning pace, when he will open and when he will do all that becomes a very difficult task. So if we can add on, we can add on a lot of difficulties. Yes, of course, there are difficulties, but there are advantages too.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Really, you have thrown a great light on what are the challenges and difficulties in both the sides, as a teacher and also on the other side as a kind of a technical support, and with respect to the technology involved in it. You have covered all the areas. There are few forthcoming questions also I was about to throw on it, but you have covered all the areas. Now to Krishnan sir, kindly unmute your audio, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sir, even your consultancy also provides a lot of webinars continuously. Yes, on one side, with all the difficulties, as ma'am also referred, we are trying to provide the knowledge and education to the students. But on the student side, how it is the response? That is, are they interested in this mode of? Because we are dealing with this in a new way. But to you, it is not new. You were in both the sides. You were also there going to the colleges and giving trainings. Equally, you are also known for your own online training before itself, not at the time of COVID, before. So tell me, how would be students respond, and are they really interested in this mode of teaching?
Very, very valid question, madam. First of all, expect the unexpected. That is the scenario. So even now also, people would be expecting that who is going to be the panel member and who is going to address. And after seeing my this attire, here something is there and here, this is my passion, this is my profession. Hope it is clear. So people will be of different nature. The thing is, the students whomsoever is receiving from that game, this online platform, it is like 50-50. Whether I can say 70-30. Whoever is really interested for such type of things, yes, of course, they will take it forward and in a very lengthy manner or whatever the case may be, they will not leave the session and they will keep on learning. For example, it has to be very interactive. Now, I am going to post a question to the team. Here around 65 members are there. So, let them have their answer through the chat box. So, the first question is, oh, many of the students or many of us play chess. How many of you can answer this question? How many squares are there in chessboard? I'll give just 30 seconds. 64, 64. How many squares are 64, 64? My question is very clear. How many squares are there in chessboard? 64, 64. No, sir. Sorry. Why? Okay, carry on. 64. My question is very clear. How many squares are there in chessboard? We have to count big square. Yes, yes, good. Correct. Yes. Oh, yes, Ashwin is going correct. 264, yes, you are hearing, but not exactly. 204, exactly. That person, yes. Shashank Joshi, 204. Yes, 204. I don't know from where he has got it or whatever the case should be. This is the way that has to be implemented. How that 204? If you ask him or her, then obviously they will answer. But here, for the interest of the benefit of other individuals also, I will tell. Simple. So everyone said 64, 8 by 8. But other person told, sir, full board should be counted as one square. And inner square also to be counted. If that is the case, how are we going to take forward? It means whole square is called 1 by 1 and small square is called 8 by 8. In between are also there. So 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 4 by 4, like that it goes on. So 1 square to 8 square, whatever the count is there, if you keep on adding that one, you get 204. So like that, we have to keep posting the questions. Yes, exactly. Ashwin has clearly mentioned 64, 49, like that. We have to add all those things. We get the answer. Like that, we have to be very interactive so that the students will be much more interested to stay connected with us. Shall I post one more question? If you are ready. Because going to paucity of time, I have to cut short. Of course, I am going to pass this question. Let me see how many students are very alert. What you can hold with your right hand and not with the left hand. My question once more. What you can hold with your right hand and not with the left hand. Let me see how many of you can answer. What did you get? Your own left hand. So then, yes. Okay, your own left hand. What you can hold with your right hand would not be held. So, like that, we have to stay connected with the students. Okay, just Ashwin, it was different. No problems. It's all right. We'll try. So, this is the way we have to have the interactive session so that students will get connected and students will be in the comfort zone. As you asked for the experience, yes, we could see even now also we could see that students, since they are in they have disabled their video and audio is also not there, so obviously they will be lying on the bed, casual, and attire will be very casual. So that time what happens, the reach will be very average. See, whenever we are attending either in the classroom or away, whatever the case may be, even it is going to be just 5 minutes of session, please have a scribbling pad in your hand and have some writing materials. Please note down so that what happened, you will note down all these points for your record purpose. Because whatever we hear, please do remember, I didn't say whatever we listen, whatever we hear. We don't know whether we are listening or not. There is much difference between hear and listen. So whatever we hear, probably cannot go to our permanent memory. So that is why we used to record it. So that when time permits, we used to refer all those things for our future purpose. I'm so happy that the participants are increasing up to 72. It's quite good that students have to have the initiative to join as many things as possible, because there are chances that even though we know everything, we may get at least 5 to 10 points during this discussion. Discussions develops knowledge. That is why we used to tell all the students, think good, do better, the best will automatically come to you. Think good, do better, the best will automatically come to you. This is not advice, this is known factor, just spreading across. So with respect to students, they should not be in the comfort zone, they have to come out. Okay, so I think so we will proceed for the next question. And yeah, because it is time is
yes sir, yes sir, thank you sir, thank you. Your answer was so valid that interest of the student lies in the teacher and the mode of delivery. So we understood that. Now the question is towards Suganya ma'am. Ma'am, can you please, just now ma'am has left the meeting. I hope she will come back. Anyhow, she'll rejoin us. So before that, sir, I'll put a question to you.
Yes, please.
So this is present situation is going on like this. Okay, COVID-19 is going on. That's why there is no post-COVID as we discussed yesterday itself in the webinar. Hereafter, we can refer it as a post-lockdown. But post-COVID, we can't refer because as WHO has also told that we need to live along with COVID. So that is the situation now. So when the post-lockdown period, will this online learning will continue like this, or the spirit of online learning will go down? Now, because of lockdown, we are all enforcing a lot towards this digital learning. How is this going to continue after lockdown? Yeah.
Well, digital learning, there are five. Actually, recently in one of the articles I also read through, 500 million people are doing this digital revolution. So if so, obviously, we have to keep practicing this one. There are different ways like 21 days practice, 27 days, 21 days practice, 48 days practice. Like that, it goes on. So like that, once we are habituated, then it has to be on. And online, it's a boom impact because, of course, Madam has told that with respect to science, especially the engineering and all, the practicality will be very difficult. But at least we can get an awareness based on all these online platforms. So post-COVID, post-lockdown, yes, of course, this online is habituated by every individual, and they will keep learning through this also, because here also the people also will, that facilitators also will be engaged. Simultaneously, the students also will keep on getting the knowledge. That is why I used to tell some of the even students also learn to teach. Learn to teach. So obviously, whoever is going to teach, even if it is for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or half an hour or one period, whatever the case may be, they will have to prepare for it. While preparing, they will explore, they will not sit idle. So this particular scenario will keep on continuing, and it is also for a good cause only. And it is, in fact, no, one evolution has happened. And in this digital revolution, yes, we have to sail along with the flow. In Hindi, there is a say, "Samay ke saath chalo." There is no other go. We have to go along with the flow. Okay, so yes, as you asked for it, yes, social distance has to be there because of this, all these things, but it should not have the break in intellectual distance. We have to keep connected. Let us stay connected.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Still, we were looking towards Suganya ma'am. I hope
Yeah, no
she
problem.
had some connect. Ma'am, you're back?
Yeah, I'm back with my son's name, Pranamurthy.
Okay, fine, fine, fine.
Yeah.
That's what, with this, on the session itself, we are meeting all the challenges.
Yeah, fine.
Yes, sir. So, ma'am, the question to sir, I wanted you also to answer. I was
Yeah.
asking him, will this continue? This online mode of learning, will this continue after this lockdown period also? Once again, I request the participants to kindly mute your audio and video. Parimala. Yeah, or else I don't have a choice to remove you. There is only choice. Yeah. Yes.
Yes. So it's a right question because coming to this Gen Z students, so it was already proven that the listening time of the students have gone down to a very little time. Actually, that's why IIT Bombay has come up with the concept of spoken tutorials, wherein all the concepts have to be recorded with a minimum time limit of 5 to 7 seconds, 7 minutes. That's it. In Vital also, it is like we are about to create some videos only for a time period of to a maximum of 20 minutes. That's all. It can go from 5 minutes to 20 minutes. So understanding the fact that students will not be able to sit and listen for a quite longer period of time. And considering your question, like whether this will continue or not, of course, hereafter this would be the strategy. And some of the facts about this COVID states the fact that till 2025, so somehow or the other, we have to learn how to be with this COVID. That's what is the strategy that was being given to all of us now. So in which case, it's a fact that online learning will also be part of our day-to-day activities hereafter. It's not anything new, quite new, because already the concept of MOOC courses and the concept of having some online learning platform. In VIT we are having Moodle, wherein it's a learning management system. The concept is quite same, right? So we can upload the materials, the students can download from wherever place he is in. So it gives the advantage and flexibility to the students to learn in his own pace. So it's an understood fact that all the students will not have the same IQ and EQ. So at his own pace or her own pace, they can very easily learn and come up. So that's the concept of providing the materials. And so many universities have moved on, including VIT, IITs and Amrita, and so many other have moved on to have their own learning management system. And it's not completely a new paradigm. Yes, as you said, since the the strategies are going to be very difficult hereafter. Yes, according to my perception, it will still continue with both online classroom teaching as well as your. And today, we have come across one article regarding the UGC notification that there is a discussion in making the students to learn dual degrees. Okay, so understanding the intelligence quotient that is increasing now. So one they can have from the university, other they can parallelly do with this online teaching. So without online teaching, that is not at all possible. So if there comes a discussion, it's a fact that this will always continue.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot. And of course, as you referred, this online mode in the COVID situation and even after lockdown, post lockdown phase, it's going to be the way of life. But on the other side, I have a challenge that we have to face in front of us is it accessible and affordable to all streams of the population? When it comes to India, on the way of digital learning, when you see, I could see a digital divide. The private institutions are having a kind of a population who can afford and access the digital learning. But we have our government schools and other government institutes which cannot, the particular population is not affordable and also accessible to this. So there arises a digital divide. How we are going to confront this digital divide? I want
Yeah,
both the speakers to answer. Ma'am, please add your give your answer. Then we will move on to Krishnan sir. Please, thank you.
Said is pretty correct. So actually, study states globally there are 840 million people who doesn't even have access to electricity as of now. If you take India itself, I have come across one survey stating that around 240 million people, that is, they doesn't have electricity at all. So if you look at, and this education is the basic thing which we think has to be affordable to all the people. Okay, so irrespective of whoever be that. And the school education, if you look at for these kind of 240 million people, it's a boom to them. And the teachers who are working for them are all considered to be god. So what about this? It's really a fact, and only the infrastructure improvement in terms of government undertake, that is initiative, government initiative has to be the reliable answer for this. So what else? So one way is that the usage of Vital, that is that usage of online courses, since the recorded material rather than the live materials is given to the students, they have the flexibility to download and use it at their own required time. But as you said, for that even we are in need of enough bandwidth and so many other parameters. Now a lot of service providers like BSNL, Vodafone and so many other have come up with so some additional free data packages for the users. But whatever be the case, as we all know, as a society, as a citizen, we all know that the infrastructure has to be improved a lot to make it better. And it's all in the hands of our government only.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I expect Krishnan sir to answer now.
Well, as usual, I will pose a question to the public now. Yes, very simple. I'm going to ask a simple question. If you are happy, if I say a sentence, you will become sad. If you are sad, if I say the same sentence, you will become happy. What sentence is that? Did I reach the question, or shall I repeat? If you are happy, if I will say a sentence, you will become sad. Fabulous. Again, Joshi is, this time will pass. Nothing is permanent. Everything is temporary. If one can do, you too can do. If none can do, you must do. If one can do, you too can do. If none can do, you must do. Number two, if you have choice, choose the best. If you don't have choice, do the best. These are all not advices. These are all practical experiences and experiments. Here, literally speaking, what are they going to do? Yes, they do can do. There are possibilities. There are chances. Governments are taking initiative. You just imagine, now we hold all this smartphone in our hand. Everything is readily available. Around 2 decades or 3 decades back, yes, we were struggling hard. And now, one more point here. Students are given with laptop, even government schools. So they are coming towards this scenario. Apart from that, along with the government, as a citizen of India, as I said, no, I was from Indian Air Force. So obviously, during that time, so the patriotism, connectivity towards our nation should enhance, enrich, excel. It becomes ecstasy. So to do so, we can request all the companies also to sponsor through CSR. Corporate social responsibility is the valid one. Every company is coming forward. Percentage of profit should be shared so that instead of just going for the facilities alone, knowledge towards knowledge imparting, they can also support. Many companies are coming forward and we have to salute them for sharing their own sweat towards the benefit of whole country. Our interest is, former President APJ Abdul Kalam sir has mentioned, in 2020 our country will be superpower. But this pandemic was not expected at all. Even if he is alive today, he would have told that, yes, no problem. So what? What's next? So what? What's next? Let us strive hard. Let us face as fast as we can and fight against everything we can do. So this is the way he will also say, and we will also motivate the students. Self motivation should be there. Self appraisal should be there. Self esteem is to be there, so that each and every individual can come along with us and make the country the number one. At the same time, we can say it comfortably. Yes, we will move on to the next question.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Of course, as I
Yeah,
referred,
one more,
yes, ma'am.
Vijayalakshmi ma'am,
Yeah.
2 points to add to this. Actually, all the things what Krishnan sir said is correct. But in terms of financials that is coming into pursuit, it's much more difficult for the people, as you have rightly pointed out. It's a digital divide, right? So, for the people who are not able to afford this kind of digital devices, let's say, for example, at our home we have 2 laptops and 2 mobile phones, but these four are not enough for both of me, my husband and my both kids. Four needs to use the devices at the same time. They have their own things, like I have my own classes, he has his own classes. My two daughter and son, they also have their own classes. If at least one device goes off, that's all. So for an educated family, who we are luckily by God's grace we are able to afford getting a device, for us itself it's becoming a very challenging task to meet up with all the things. But if we think of the other side of the people who are little lower in terms of this economy, of course it's an understood fact that it's pretty difficult for them to balance all these things, managing the COVID situation where it is creating a lot of unemployment, the financial disturbance to the entire family. So if we insist the students to go on learn in this digital era, because this digital everything is fine, rather than it is requiring lot of financials to be um, understood for this. Like, no, in terms of both being a teacher, I have to spend a lot for creating recordings, and for a learner they have to spend a lot for learning the materials whichever we are. So that way, yes, of course, there is a lot of difficulties that is there for the students, and that needs to be understood by both the sides, by the teacher as well as to the learner. And coming to the government school, don't know how the people are going to meet. So for us, we all should request the government to take care of them, because if you give a break for 6 months, it's pretty difficult to bring the students back to their learning pace. So that's why yeah, vacation for a period of 2 months itself is considered much more. So being to bring them onto the track again, it's very difficult. So all these things, of course, needs to be taken care of.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. As you and sir rightly pointed out, yes, of course, this is a situation of digital divide. Way back, we are talking about lot of differences in our society, but now we ourselves are creating a difference. That is this particular divide. One set of population who are able to get this kind of education, kind of a two houses nearby neighborhood houses. In one house where there is a possibility of a gadget, accessibility and affordability to a gadget that makes or enable a child to learn, and there is another house very next door where the child does not have an accessibility affordability, which also on the other side disables the child for an education. So once again we are back to a situation that whether the child can learn or not learn, the education is provided or not provided. So that is what the digital divide actually takes us towards a kind of a stratification in society itself in terms of education, in terms of other services which are provided in that way of digital mode. But to add on, yes, of course, this is the right time our government, and as sir referred also, a lot of companies, okay, because all these people are all working for the companies. On the other side, the companies should also extend their social responsibility in this scenario in order to bring in the development in the country so that we all together can actually develop. And to add on to another word which I referred, that is the positive feeling. Yes, we do have to stand here with a kind of a positive feeling that things will change because society was totally different, and all these years, a lot of transformation positively we have seen in society. Similarly, with the positive support of government and these corporates, of course, we can have a change in India also. Just to refer, maybe to add a little sense of humor also to the students. Once status was always posted by our students in different places, people also took it in different ways. That is a different country how they kind of express the situation. For example, USA, we are all dying, and Italy, it's a kind of a fearful situation. Like in every country, where there is one post about this COVID. India, finish your assignments before deadline. This was a kind of a post which has been circulated by different students in their status. I will not put it in a negative way. I will say that in India, we have a positive feeling that we will survive. We will be alive. That is the reason we are asking you to finish your assignment. So start doing your work. Don't think about what is going to happen tomorrow. I'm going to get affected or not. So let us not think about it. This too shall pass, as sir referred. Similarly, we all have to put our hands together. So if we are able to support a person in our neighborhood, there is also always we cannot put the responsibility towards government, CSR. Yes, of course, they all have to. And what is our social responsibility? ISR, individual social responsibility or personal social responsibility, say for it. That is also to be taken into consideration in this particular point of time. One last question to the panel members before we move on to the students' questions. Uh, how do you rate the efficiency of learning in this mode? Because we have seen the students learning with us in a regular classroom. But on the other side, in an online classroom, how do we rate the efficiency of the student with respect to learning? Yes, sir. Krishnan, sir.
Yeah. The greatest and costliest mistake in this world is losing the opportunity. The greatest and costliest mistake in this world is losing the opportunity. When you get an opportunity, avail it. Rather grab it, rather snatch it from your neighbor, because our neighbor is going to be our competitor very soon. We are in the same classroom. But here, with respect to this online platform, obviously the listening ability or understanding ability will be very average comparing to classroom training. So what are we supposed to do? We have to stay connected with the content, stay connected with the particular scenario. So schedule it, timely action, yeah, everything has to be there. So what we have to do means we have to think twice, thrice, and learn, learn. There is no second thought towards learning. Keep learning, keep moving, keep interacting, keep growing. So step by step we will go. So the first point is avail the opportunity, and you are getting a chance to learn through some different mode. This mode should help us. Yes, it is helping us. We will stay connected and we will move on.
Yes, thank you,
Hello.
sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, Suganya ma'am, please. How would you rate, especially you are a teacher also. So, how would you
Yeah,
rate the efficiency of learning by the student?
that puts me in a very difficult situation to answer now because all are our students too. Actually, it's pretty
They are very
difficult
much
to.
interested to know from you only that, ma'am.
No, it's a pretty difficult situation to understand the performance of the students in this thing. And the what to say, the answers given by the student for the reduction in the performance and for not doing certain things. Okay, so they have a lot of reasons to tell now. Okay, which none of us can oppose, which none of us can say no to that. Okay, so all those may persist, and if you look at, if I'm taking a course, I cannot insist the students to rely on only my course content. However efficient I am thinking that I am taking a particular course content, so they have lots and lots of material that is floated in public now for them to take, learn, and then be efficient in that perspective. So as a teacher, if you see, losing my I feel like I'm losing my balance on the students. Okay, on the other side, it's fine because we cannot restrict the students, we should not restrict the student to depend on our own teaching methodology and our own thing. So they are open to listen to all the materials that are available, and hence okay, they can well rate how ours is, and in that way I feel it like I take it in a positive sense. I know how I should improvise myself to make it better on my next delivery. That's on one side, and on the other side, if I want to keep track of, because as far as myself is considered, I have a different meaning for school. School is something like which is not teaching only the academics, rather all sort of discipline is what we are learning from the school. How to behave with the other people, how to behave with the society, how to give respect to an elderly. Okay, how to be among the people who are from a different levels of society. Like you will have a person who is from a very poor background, you'll have a student from a very well off family. All those things are what we are learning from a school rather than the academics alone. All that will be lost now. Okay, so our students are losing the fact of mingling with this people. Okay, so they are already this generation have gone out mingling on talking only to the digital media rather than to the people. So now the important thing is like now it is a known fact that India is known for its culture. Okay, so the culture, the word tells so many, the word has so many meanings, right? Now with this digital media, I feel like there will be a little slowdown which the parents have to take care of, and the moral responsibility of the students, to the students, have to be now only taught only by the parents, not by us. So considering the academics, it's okay, they'll come back anyway. After a period of time, they are again coming back to the college, and we can make them understand how they have to perform in a classroom situation rather than that. But other things, nowhere we can stop. Okay, even physically, if you make them sit in a classroom, it's our intelligence and it's our mode of delivery only can make them interesting and learn from us. Okay, so we instead of talking negatively about this perspective, okay, let us take it positive, try to make the students interesting enough to go on with that. Yeah, and a word to the students also, it is not a fact that everything can be taken in a advantageous way. Some moral responsibility we should also have, and if that is followed by an individual, well, even if it is digital or a classroom teaching, everything is fine for us. So self ethics and self discipline are the words that needs to be followed by any individual, even if it is a student or a faculty, whoever be the case. So that is from my side for this question.
Well, just adding a couple of points, upgrade and update is the order of the day. So obviously we have to update and upgrade. And point number two is ample of opportunities are there, we use only the samples. A portion out of ocean is being utilized by us. So here with respect to rating, so what I can say is yes, students are quite good. They are going ahead and ahead. They are going little faster. When we used to tell the FDP, during the faculty development training, I used to tell that please go 2 steps ahead of the students, because students will study everything and will come there and question. So obviously, with respect to rating, I could see that students are very fast rather than just we think that okay, they will learn from us. They are learning in advance. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. By the time we can expect some questions from the students, there is one question asked by a teacher to me over the phone. Okay, this teacher is there participating, but still he has posted the question to me. Is going if the camera is switched off. Suganya ma'am. Hope I can hear from you first, because right now you are facing the same situation because you are teaching without course, and then I would expect Krishnan sir to answer this question.
Yes. Hello.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear.
Yeah, no, I didn't get the question. What's the question?
The question is, how will you find out a student is sleeping or not while the class is going on if the camera is switched off? We actually ask them to mute their audio and video.
That's
How
what,
to ensure that they are listening?
Yeah, one possible way is what Krishnan sir did. By the midst of our teaching, we can pose some question and we can make them make them give answers for that. So that is one way to make them alive all the time. Okay,
Okay.
but as far as this digital era is concerned, so my point is we should not worry more about the attendance, rather it is only the knowledge that he is going to gain out of it. Okay, so if it is a live class, yes, there is some other way, like as sir did, we can post 1 or 2 questions to make them understand, and we can by the answers given by them, we can little bit understand whether he is live or not. Yeah, otherwise it's very difficult, of course, because even now I have a streaming problem. I'm not I'm not opening with my video, no. So a lot many difficulties students will also say, of course.
Yes. So keeping on track of the students' observation or learning is a difficulty challenge. We
Yeah.
have some questions from the students. I hope we can go for it. In online learning, clear explanation of doubt is not possible. How do you see this, ma'am?
Is
She's
it for me?
answering, or shall I?
Yes, sir. Sir, you can answer now.
Yeah, actually, with respect to the previous question, actually, I have some say on that, and I will
Sure.
continue this also. First question is how it is not possible for us to observe whether the student is sleeping or like that and all, because as you said, no, video is not enabled, all these things. But here, during when I conduct this aptitude, at that time I used to ask them, hey, what is 75 square? What is 95 square? So if I ask this question, immediately they post it. And if I don't get the answer from, I know that around 70 participants are there. If I don't get from around 10 to 15 members, then I used to observe. Of course, it's very difficult to observe all the 70 members. We can observe that the people who are already addressing or answering all these questions, they will keep on because they are very energetic and enthusiastic, and they will be they can connect with us because they want to be in the top list. But other students, yes, we have to point out, yes, since we know the students now, can I get the answer from Mr. Ravi Kumar? Who is there? Yeah, he's there. Hey, come on, like that. But it takes time. Okay, this is the first part, but this one-to-one interaction will have to be there so that we can pull those students. And as Madam told, regarding that, it depends upon the interest. So if they have interested, then obviously they will stay connected. Okay. The second question, can you tell the second question?
Yes, sir. Just a minute.
Yeah.
I'm just reading the second question given by the student.
Yeah.
In online learning, clear explanation of doubt is not possible. How do we see this?
Of course. So with respect to science, lab, practical and all, not at all possible because that is VAK, visual, auditory and kinesthetic. So visual method, yes, that experiments can be seen. Suppose if we ask, hey, come on, learn swimming, and you have given me 30 days of learning every day, move your right hand, move your left hand, all these instructions would be there. You can very well do all these things unless until that individual is put on to the swimming pool, he cannot learn. Similarly here also, explaining each and every aspect with respect exclusively for the engineering students, yes, it is going to be a real challenge. So for this, we have to have the classroom training, lab facility, all these things has to be there. So obviously we have to just push all these things when they are into the one-to-one interaction only. But explanation, yes, we will try our level best. We can visually think that okay, this is way it will be like, and auditory we can explain through audio mode. No, that is also possible, but it is going to be a challenge only.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, the question is pretty right, and it's very difficult to manage the students. For example, I'll tell you there is a group for my course. So even if a particular student X have properly understood a concept, when some other Y, if they are posing a question on the group, okay, just the person who has understood correctly also is getting into a doubt of whether his understanding is correct or not. So that's the major drawback that I found in my course, because the our because one's interpretation will always be different from others. It's a known fact, and all the materials we cannot strictly assure that has to be understood in the same manner by the students. And the way which I am resolving, if you ask, so some students, if they really have doubts on us, they are texting proper me through a separate WhatsApp or any social media. So yes, we are able to give a convincing answer, I should say convincing only. But the face to face interaction and the doubt clearance, of course, it's not there at all. So and human interaction can never be substituted with anything. So that's what is the feeling I have now, as a teacher teaching this online course, and as a teacher taught the classroom teaching.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. There is another interesting question. Testing is a major issue faced during online learning. How effective test be conducted in terms of test format or as well as cheating, monitoring? How you can make it effective, and how would be the evaluations?
Well,
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
one
Yes,
this
Suganya ma'am, you can answer. I'll then go to Krishnan sir.
yeah. I have just a bit of knowledge on this. So actually, even a lot of electronic gadgets now have brought in for even theoretical question. I don't know how good, because when you look at the paper, the feel of getting the feel of evaluating an answer, we cannot feel in a digital evaluation mode. So that's why people are moving for this online multiple choice question, quiz kind of question testing. In quiz again, the problem is no, you invariably the answer will be the same from all the students. So the correct answer and the justification that we can give to a pretty good student, good in the sense who has prepared very well for their examination, is pretty difficult. Okay, so of course it's an unknown fact and an understood fact that it's not equivalent to a classroom examination. But somehow, okay, so as there is a saying by Heraclitus, the only constant in life is change. So we cannot deny that. And those who can survive in this world is those who are this is an era where we should understand the concept of survival of the fittest. So we have to adhere to whatever is available now, rather than telling that it's not possible. So with this, we have to move on as of now. That's what from my side.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir, you want to add anything with respect to the
yeah,
evaluation?
yes, of course. Nowadays, no, as the technology is advancing, this face recognition is also there. So we have an app where the individual communication skills can be assessed, and we have already discussed in your college also that it checks the will, energy, confidence, pass, pace. All these points are along with the face recognition. So what happens means with this through this scan, technology is advanced. So the students, whether they are genuine or not, it can be assessed. That is point number one. And point number two is we have online assessment also. Through that way, we have the time frame. So the students cannot just copy or like that and all. They can directly keep on answering. So for example, 60 questions are there. 60 minutes means they have to keep answering that MCQ. So obviously, there are very less chance that this student is cheating or misbehaving, all these things. There are some ways, and very soon we will get many ways also, since advanced technology is advanced.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. Because there's a new shift. A lot of new things have to come up to make this to happen. Of course, it is not possible to make a actual efficiency how we have in person, because that is nothing can actually compromise on our human connections also. Because one-to-one personal talk is always different when you talk over phone or when you have a video call. So there is always difference even in our social relationship if you go in a digital way. Same, there are a lot of limitations when you go for digital learning too. So beyond limitation, how we are going to move forward. Okay, somehow to manage with the limitation or to overcome few limitations with possible new technologies only we are trying to do as far as our digital literacy or digital learning is concerned. Thank you, sir. There is one more few question that connects with respect to the, here is like a conference call. I would could see the students on the camera when we have an understanding about their involvement in the class. So in this discussion also,
Yeah.
one or two cameras on. So if we insist all of them to switch on their cameras, we can at least have a kind of an eye watch on them. So this is a kind of an
Yes.
observation. Yes, but I'm asking if all the cameras are on, will not it distract the teacher or will not it distract the other viewers? Rather than watching the teacher, they may watch each other then. How would you
No,
respond to this? Yes.
Prabhagar, by looking at you drinking something, now I am also getting a feel of drinking something. So that's the kind of feel I'll get when we are connected. So the biggest problem is streaming, right? So now for the entire day, I have my schedules divided into a lot of things. So whereas I'm in need to keep my bandwidth engaged, and so we are not able to live in. So where there is the internet connection is slow, so it's an obvious fact that we cannot insist the people to go on for a video session. So rather, at that situation, what we thought is at least let them be present. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's what is what we thought of, and hence moving on. So where, as you said, it's correct. In order to have an eye contact, it's fine. But anyway, even if they are sitting physically, who knows how the concepts are moving on. So again, it's one of the limitation, we should say, in a digital era this day.
Yeah. Yes, no, yes, yes. As I said, yes, it's a limitation, and every way of mode of teaching have different limitation. So this mode of teaching have such a limitation, and we have to make sure that to what extent we can limit the limitation and go ahead with the learning as a
Yes.
process. And adding on to the word that you already said, here the attendance is not the criteria. Knowledge gaining,
Yeah.
acquiring knowledge should be the criteria. So the one who require knowledge will come to acquire. So
Yes.
that would be the actual line of the day, I would say to the students. Yes, that was a great session. Uh,
Yeah.
I hope
Uh,
we have answered most of the questions given by the students. Yes, sir.
yeah. One word to all my students.
Yes.
Okay. So one
One minute,
satisfaction.
1 minute. Suganya ma'am, just when
Yeah.
you want, before you give your final address, one
Yeah.
or two messages from my students, especially to you, that they will be happy if the Bitol courses quizzes will have answers. They didn't respond over the chat box session, not to reveal them. On the other side, they just wanted to give this piece of information to you that quizzes, if they come with the answers, it's easy for them to know whether their answers were right or not. This is a small kind of an information I just want to put to
Yeah. Yeah.
you. Yes, you
Yeah.
can give your final
Students are
address.
correct from their side, but if something is not given, there is another side for that too. Okay? So we have our own difficulties, and since the digital assignments and all needs to be conducted for the second time for the students who are not able to attend in the proper timings due to internet problem or other, so we are not able to reveal everything in time, and we have certain set of batches running on continuously, and hence is the situation. And as we know, students are more intelligent than the faculty, and we came up with a lot of scenarios and the strategies that students are taking in order to undergo a better experience. And hence, of course, you will be given with all the quiz answers before the closing of the course, so that you can well understand. And it's a known fact that every quiz has a different, what to say, the syllabus, and hence it won't affect your grade, I hope. Finally, but I will also request the team to give all the quiz answers. And some 2 points I need to add to all my students.
So as a teacher having 18 years of experience, of course, I have lot of good students. Only because of them, I'm confident enough and reached this situation. But whatever be the limitation we are talking about, right? So in this a month ahead, we have started preparing the material for this online course. Now I'm feel bit satisfied rather than this 18 years of teaching. So in a way that I could see lot of messages coming from not only the students who is taking the course. Yes, of course, yeah, we cannot expect 100% satisfaction from all the students. It's a known fact, and I won't say that I'm 100% correct in all my aspects. But this as a teacher, the biggest satisfaction is when we are hearing from the students that it's pretty good and they can understand certain things which they are not able to do earlier. Only for that we are striving. So that only this digital medium has brought into us. So unknown students, unknown people, so many from Vellore AP, we don't know who they are, we don't they don't know who am I. So they are students. If they are telling, because whatever be the knowledge and the experience I have, I can only able to reach it out only to a set of 200 students, to a maximum for a 3-month semester or a 6-month semester. But here, a massive set of 2000 people, and a way behind that, beyond that, we don't know how many have reached. So that was made possible only through this digital medium. And this confidence we should certainly thank to VIT and the students of VIT. Only because of them we are able to come out with this kind of confidence and this kind of preparation. Yeah, that's it, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Yes, Krishnan sir, from your,
Yes.
I need some few end notes.
Yes, of course. No, I'm really happy that this type of growth is there, and that dynamic growth has to be there wherever we go. Then only we can stand unique. So here, first and foremost, no, I request all the individuals to go for SWOT analysis. Everyone knows what is SWOT: strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat, and that has to be done week on week, rather than just okay. Occasionally we did and okay like this. But because every week, or rather, in fact, every day, we learn many things from many individuals or many more. So obviously, we have to acquire or require whatever you have clearly mentioned. That was a very rhythmic word. And similarly, here also, we have to evaluate ourselves. Where do we stand? So, as I said, the last 10 commandments, yes, I'm going to share the same thing with full connection. And I want each and every individual to stay connected with me for next 1 or 2 minutes. Please sit erect at the backbone stage. I can visualize that you are all sitting erect, and just to follow this particular statement and keep telling, because I have told to many people and they have got the benefit based on this one. Chant 10 times this particular statement. That is day by day, in every way, I am getting better and better. I can, I will, I must. Take the blessings of your parents every day. Touch the motherland and say thanks, because Matrubhumi, Matrudevo Baba, Pitrudevo Baba, Acharya Devo Baba, Atiti Devo Baba. Point number 2, think good, do better, the best will automatically come to you. Spread positivity wherever you go. Count your blessings, not the blessings. The more you give, the more you get. Be the counselor, not only for others, but also for self. Upgrade and update. Learn to teach. Goals shattered, but paradigm shift to reset is a must. Social distance should not impact intellectual distance. If you have choice, choose the best, else do the best. If one can do, you too can do. If none can do, you must do. View, review, swag. So what? What's next? Keep asking. If you are average, if you are in challenging position, so what? What's next? Ask yourself, we have done all these things these many days. It's again yet another challenging issues only. No problem, I can cross this. The greatest and costliest mistake in this world is losing the opportunity. Ample of opportunities are there. Use and in this we are taking the, and now all of you should say each and every day, your happiness is my happiness. Your happiness is my happiness. Keep telling everybody, your happiness is my happiness. Obviously, what happened? You are getting the 60 plus happiness. They are working for your happiness. So obviously, you will be the happiest person in this world. I always feel that I am the happiest person in this world. The moment I get up from the bed, touch the motherland and say thanks, I take the blessings of my parents, stay with them, and I take care of my family, and I do the best to the society through such type of interacting with the students as well as students community is the best community in this world, so that they can take towards the betterment of whole world. So we will all together pray for world peace. And once again, I repeat that I extend my special thanks to VIT management for giving me an opportunity to stay connected with all these 60 plus individuals. Thank you very much for everything, and we will stay connected for future endeavors also.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It was wonderful. All the 10 commandments are really required for the life, not only in this COVID-19, all through our life, we require all these 10 commandments. So the students would have got the message from you. Yes, students, of course, this is a challenging scenario right now, what we are having, and even what we are going to have after this post lockdown. Of course, it is a challenge to you to take this online education, challenge for the teacher to render, challenge for the provider to actually give the with the required bandwidth and other things, and challenge for the education consultant who is here adding a lot of points, insights with us. So it is a challenge for everyone. But end of the day, all these challenges are for knowledge. We need to remember that. What is the purpose of this? It is for the sake of knowledge. So let us all put our hands together with the social solidarity now to acquire this knowledge and also share this knowledge to whom it is not able to reach. So you need to take this knowledge to the people where it could not reach. So this responsibility we have. And of course, this online education, it is developing. We have seen lot of development in our society. This is also one another development. It is not something different, something new, something possible and all. Let us not have a pessimistic view. Be optimistic. This also will add on to our development knowledge and will add on, take India to a different range. One and all, thanks for all your participation. It was great listening to both the speakers. It was great reading the questions of the participants also. We could have great insights today. We had a great insight today. And thanks for being the panel member, J.Krishnan sir, Suganya ma'am, for sparing your time in a busy schedule. Thank you. And I thank one and all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank,
If students are
thank you for giving us the opportunity.
yeah,
Thank you,
if,
ma'am.
if students or anybody is ready to share their views, they can very well tell through the chat box or in the video also. You can just ask them.
Yes.
No, it's
Students, if you have a feedback about the session also, you can post it in the chat box. How was the session to you? The panel member is interested, so that you can also show how that you are attentive in just listening to this session. What we were discussing all through the whole an hour is about that. Thank you all for your participation. Yeah, we are getting a few responses from the students. Very knowledgeable. It certainly gave insights about this process. Yes. On the other side, they were able to be as a kind of a recipient only. Now they understood the limitations in the process also.
special thanks to Dr. Vijayalakshmi madam, because you have moderated this one, and then special thanks to Suganya madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Generally, after completion of this one, we used to tell, so that students will not hesitate. That is one sort of opportunity given to the students. They will come forward, they will unmute, and they will share their views. Even if see, it is our duty to look into all the plus and minus. That is why then we can refine ourselves in future also whenever we go forward.
Even if you want, I can just put a word to a students that somebody wants to unmute and reveal your screen and your face and your video and audio to sir, and want to express your thanks or your opinion or suggestions, whatever it is. Sir is open to get it from you. Those who are interested can actually come forward
Yeah,
before we close on.
generally know when after completion of that run, people used to think, hey, come on, yeah, I too would have given, I too should have given like that. After going back only, since I was in Indian Air Force, the psychological impact could be observed. So some people used to ask me, sir, how to join Indian Air Force? Such type of questions are also, but it's out of way. But what I mean to say,
Yeah, out of way also you can ask, sir, because he is from Indian Air Force and also right now in a consulting firm, training a lot of engineering students like you and putting them in a different placements in different institutes. So if you want out of the way, not only regarding online education, we can ask him anything out of box also. He is ready to answer you.
Okay, Express. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, madam. Thanks for your time.
Yes, sir.
And
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It's a nice session. I would like to stop recording by now because, yeah, the
thank you.
particular criteria